Please welcome to introduce the OHE Service Award to Alex G. Spanos for his service in World War II, Congressman Darrell Issa.
Senator, Your Eminence, ladies and gentlemen, and general fellow Army guy, it certainly is fitting that Michael and Philip, two of the 15 grandchildren of Alex Spanos, are here to accept the award. It's probably appropriate and predictable that his son Dean would choose me instead of himself, because like Alex, the Spanos family has been behind so much for so long. It's also fitting that the greatest generation is in fact where we're honoring Alex Spanos. Sadly, when you honor the greatest generation, you can't get somebody from the generation appropriate, so they took me. We could have had Bob Dole if he was in better health, or John McCain, or President Reagan, all friends of Alex Spanos, Alex and Faye Spanos. Quite frankly, if Bob Hope just could have lived to be 110, his partner for decades in the USO, Alex Spanos, would have been thrilled. Actually, they would have been thrilled to do a little soft shoe here, something that if you go online, you'll find Alex doing well past his prime, but not past his ability to reach out and help our men and women in uniform through war after war after war. Alex, in a way, is typical of his generation. 62 days after Pearl Harbor was bombed, he was on his way to flight training to, in fact, go against the world's greatest Air Force, and it wasn't ours, it was theirs. When that didn't happen, he took the next worst job on earth, to be a gunner on a bomber. He trained and he did his duty. And when the war was over, he came back and left to his children and his 15 grandchildren two great businesses. The business that produces more family housing in the way of apartments per year than any other company in America. And yes, the team he loved so much, the Chargers, taking them time and time again to the playoffs and even to the Super Bowl. I want to just close as we bring on the real recipients and say that those who knew Alex Spanos, as I was fortunate enough, whether they knew him in politics or in business, or quite frankly, when he hosted, and for the Greek Americans, you'll appreciate this, at least 400 people for Greek Easter dinner every year, knew that he would stand by one of the four massive lambs, cut them, and serve them to his guest. For those who think they have a big family, you've never been in the Spanos kitchen at dinner time when everyone just shows up in what could be a commercial kitchen anywhere else, but it was just their home. Never leaving Stockton for long, this is a person who remembered his roots. And so today it is an honor for me to, in a small way, be there instead of Bob Hope, instead of so many people, instead of Ronald Reagan, instead of so many people who called Alex not just friend, but a friend to America, a friend to California, and a friend to the USO. And I close with that. General, there is no greater friend to the USO today alive because Alex has passed. So thank you, and if Michael and Philip would come up. And Dean, this is one time you got to come up too. Susie, come on. By the way, I'm Orthodox but not Greek, so I'm barely allowed to be here.
I think we made the mistake of giving our notes to Congressman Issa last night at the reception because he stole quite a bit of what we were going to say. But
we'll continue. Both my cousin and I are extremely honored to be here today to accept this award on behalf of our late Papu, Alex Spanos. As the patriarch of our family, he and our Yaya taught us many important values that included faith, family, and giving back to your community.
At the same time, he also told us that everything that was invented was done by the Greeks, and everyone wanted to be Greek. But our grandfather was a simple man. Nothing was more important to him than his family and his Greek heritage. To that extent, he ensured that his 4 children and his 15 grandchildren all grew up on the same property with their backyards connecting. He did that in part to ensure that no one had an excuse not to be at those family dinners every single night. Yes, that did mean that there were 30 plus Greeks around one dinner table every single night. To some, that might seem like a recipe for disaster, but to us, that was the biggest blessing in our lives and certainly the foundation in our lives.
Family had a lot of meanings to our grandfather. It wasn't just his 4 children, his 15 grandchildren that came to these dinners. It was also his beloved Greek community and his friends. There's no better way to illustrate this example than, as Congressman said earlier, than our Greek Easter celebrations. There would be about 500 plus people. It'd be our family, our Greek community, and literally any friend that would make it over to Stockton, California. And by all means, there was a lot of Greek dancing, Greek food, and the occasional drink at these celebrations. This brought my grandfather more joy than anything else, which was to extend his love of family and Greek heritage to anyone and everyone he knew.
Thank you very much. We're honored to be here, and we'd also like to have our Uncle Dean and Aunt Susie come up again.
Picture.